The lady from Ramsey, Representative Becker Finn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I want to say that the opponents of this amendment are not saying that we need to stop all pipelines and that there's never going to be new pipelines being built. What we're saying is that there are alternatives pushing this through in this way, in what I believe is a dishonorable way. There are maps going around that show you the routes. At least one of those maps will show you that there is an alternate route. The map with all the little black specks on it, it's hard to tell because it's not in color, the one that's handed out, but each one of those black stars is a lake with wild rice. So we have an alternative here that would not force this new pipeline right through the heart of lake country and our wild rice beds. So there are alternatives here. And this amendment says an oil company on this specific project can do whatever they want, regardless of private citizens or current law, landowner rights, native people, treaty rights, wild rice, and our land of sky blue water. Wouldn't it be great to build this pipeline away from lake country, away from tourism and resorts? Wouldn't it be great if we didn't pit Minnesotans against each other in northern Minnesota? Perhaps the process has gone on too long for a reason. So the stories of the Ojibwe people are not written down. We have no Bible, no Quran. The stories of our people are passed down from person to person, connecting each one of us. Because there's power in truly listening to each other. And our people did not build monuments. We have no temples, no cathedrals, no pyramids. Our sacred spaces are outside. In this state we now call Minnesota. Our sacred spaces are in the stillness of a remote lake, in a canoe, with your dad on a hot August day as you harvest wild rice. Our sacred spaces are in the silent beauty of a sunrise as you sit among the trees in your deer stand, waiting on a crisp morning in the fall. So this amendment before us is more than just another partisan disagreement. This is not like other amendments. I don't expect you to understand that, but I wish that you could respect it. This amendment would allow a company to build an even bigger pipeline at its sole discretion through the heart of northern Minnesota. Our wild rice lakes, the headwaters of the Mississippi at Itasca, near Red Lake, Leech Lake, White Earth, and Fond du Lac Reservation, and directly through 1855 treaty lands. And this amendment would allow them to build that without even looking at the alternatives. You couldn't draw a worse map as far as what we're doing and risking with our wild rice waters and our lakes. And I always hear you telling me what the language of this bill actually does, as if I need you to explain it to me. Well, it's right here in the language of this amendment, along the preferred route of the company, notwithstanding current statutes, without going through the normal process, without showing everything that you need to show, without even waiting for the environmental impact statement. The way you are doing this is not honorable. It is cowardly. This language, this free ticket to an oil company, was not introduced as its own bill. We haven't had hearings, we haven't had discussion. This is the first time we're debating it. And I know that's fair play. You filed the amendment on time. But the way we're doing this is just, the way that you are doing this is not honorable. Minnesotans, all Minnesotans, are being cut out of this process in a very deliberate way. A month or so ago, here on the House floor, we discussed a bill that had some implications for some of our Jewish colleagues. And we all really listened that day out of respect for the history and the power in their religious and cultural history, as we should have. And members across this body, many of you spoke and shared your stories of visiting Israel and visiting sacred sites. And you shared your stories out of respect for Jewish people, and you spoke with such reverence. There was a solemnness that day, as there should have been, of taking the Jewish people and their struggles seriously. And what I do not understand, and what I cannot understand, is how you can have that compassion in your soul for a country and a people with their roots on the other side of the globe, but you do not show that same compassion for me and Representative Flanagan and all the people that were here today. That is why we heard the drum. It was not to serenade you. You do not show that same compassion for our sacred places and spaces here in Minnesota.
Members, please refer to Rule 124 in debate. Item 3, it is not the person but the measure that is the subject of the debate, and it is not allowable to arraign the motives of a member. Just keep that in mind as we speak on this issue. The lady from Ramsey, Representative Becker Finn.
Mr. Speaker, that was the general you. I looked at many people, not just one person. You have not showed me the same respect and compassion that you share for other people when they speak about what is sacred to them. So reflect on that for a moment. That's why this hurts, members. This isn't mock outrage. This is real. This is very real. That's why the drum was here today. That is why. So vote no on this amendment. You can rise above this. You can vote no. Miigwech.